Aloha. This is the introduction for section 1.1 of your textbook titled Setting the Stage, Technology and the Modern Enterprise, the introduction. Okay. In this section you're going to learn about a couple of companies and some disruptive forces involving technology and business and society that you as a future manager are going to need to be aware of. Okay. Start with Google. Google, as most of us know, as all of us should know, is a very, very popular, not probably, the most popular search engine on the planet. Okay. But what you may not know is Google is the most profitable advertising firm on the planet. Okay. And just a little over 10 years ago, most strategists were dismissing online advertising as something that could be very meaningful, let alone disruptive to the industry. Okay. A little over 10 years ago, Apple was considered a has-been, a company that had their day and then was just kind of this minor role in the tech industry. Today, Apple tends to have the most valuable market capitalization of any firm in the United States, and they sell more music and mobile devices than any other firm in the industry. Okay. You're going to learn in this course about a trend called Moore's Law, and that basically means computers are getting faster and cheaper, and there's benefits and problems with this. Benefits include that we're extending the benefits of technology to not just the wealthy but to the poor all over the world. One of the drawbacks is because technology is so cheap now, we throw this stuff away. It's poisoning our planet. Okay, so far we've talked about Google, Apple, Moore's Law, faster, cheaper computers. Now we get to social media, okay, like Facebook. Facebook, you may know this, you may not, is, as of, I think it was last September 2013, boasted 1.19 billion active users. Okay, if Facebook were a country, the only country on this planet that would be larger is China. But Facebook's not the only social media force out there. In this course, we're going to learn about others. Okay? But what is social media doing besides giving us games to play in and pictures of our friends to look at? Okay? It's giving voice to angry customers. Okay? A company may have an ethical lapse, may cheat a customer, may get caught doing something environmentally wrong. There's a variety of things that could go wrong, and now it can get captured in video, in pictures, in text, and uploaded and distributed through social media. So managers now have to be a lot more careful about what they say. Okay, and this isn't just business managers; it's also governments. Okay, Facebook, Twitter, etc. have been cited as key mobilizers in social uprisings around the world. Okay, now the status update is not going to cause a revolution, but it will give voice about grievances, about problems that are going on to people around the world. Okay, so we're going to touch on that. Okay, so we've got social media is one of these forces that you need to be aware of and recognize that this has relevance for your business. Okay. Now, along with social media, we also have this trend toward globalization, which hopefully you've learned about in your courses. Globalization means business is now global. We've got supply chains and customers on all parts of the world. We've got businesses that are getting distributed. Okay, so what does this mean in terms of technology? Well, China, a little over 10 years ago, was barely even online. Now, China has more internet users than there are people in the United States. Okay? India used to be this backwards, and I use that term loosely, as far as Westerners viewed it. India was this backwards farming country, and we knew something about the British Empire, and there were some movements, but India was not really in the mind share of many people in the United States or the Western industrialized world. India has turned into an enormous technology powerhouse. Okay? Companies in all industries are now outsourcing development, research, software development, modeling, marketing, you name it. We're moving more and more tech-related industry issues to India. Why? Well, the labor is increasingly skilled. Communications technologies allows us to move work around the planet to where skilled labor is the most affordable, And more technology-centered businesses are establishing centers of expertise in areas like India. Okay, so we have this globalization trend going on. We also have software trends going on. Okay. Software, these computer programs we use to get things done on our computers. We're changing the way that we view software. Software is transitioning from something that you typically hire somebody to write computer code for you and you buy it, to something that companies are now paying their employees to spend thousands of hours writing code that is then given away for free. Okay? This is called open source software, and there's a business reason for this. Okay? But now that we're giving away software, right? When was the last time you paid for an internet web browser? Okay? Many of the applications you're using online are free, and that's thanks to the software that's running them being provided through this open source methodology. Okay? So this means the way we make money using software is going to change. The way we think of software is going to change. There's a related trend toward something called cloud computing, which has become so common that many college students aren't even aware they're doing it. When you use applications like Gmail or Outlook.com to access your email through a web browser, you're using something called cloud computing. That means the program is not really running on your machine, it's running on somebody else's machine, on Google's machines, on Facebook's machines, on Amazon's machines. Okay? You may not be aware of this. We'll discuss this later on in the course. Netflix runs their movies off of computers owned by Amazon, and they just pay Amazon for the cycle time, for the computing time they use on their machines. Okay, so this is called cloud computing, and it's changing the way that we think of and gain access to computing resources and software. Okay. With all of this, we're collecting more and more data about our customers, about our employees, about our business, about our products, and the volume of data is growing really, really fast. We call this, the marketers call this big data. Okay, but it's basically database analysis. And as we analyze and ask questions and organize and make sense out of the data we're collecting about increasingly small bits of information in larger and larger volumes, we're able to gain insights, we're able to innovate faster. Okay? But we're also starting to compromise the privacy of our customers and employees. We're also starting to change the way that we approach decision making and company culture and the resources we develop. So it creates additional complexities, but there's a huge potential benefit there. Okay. Lastly, the more reliant we are in businesses and as a society on computing, the more bad guys start looking at what we're doing. Okay. The more security threats that we're facing. Okay. Now we have to worry about protecting our information assets, protecting it from theft, corruption, making sure we have the availability to the technology resources we need to get our work done. Okay? We're going to explore all of these themes and more. As a future manager, you need to be aware of these potentially disruptive forces, and as you learn to use them and not just be overwhelmed by them, you'll become a more capable manager and more valuable employee in the future.